Mr. Michael Sehl. Sehl? I've never actually clarified how I say your name.
Sail,
Sehl.
like a sailboat. Yeah.
Oh, Sehl, perfect. Right. Well, thank you for joining. I know you're a busy bloke, so appreciate you taking the time out to have a chat with me and hopefully add a little bit of value and clear things up for the audience out there. So, firstly, I want you to start by explaining to people how we came to be working together and the situation you were in at the time.
We actually crossed paths at a time when I felt really stuck and I felt frustrated and I felt like I was just spinning my wheels. I was in a good place, I thought, just entered a career as a professional firefighter, was about 4 or 5 years in. And it's a career where you're doing everything you can to get hired, everything you can to get on, and you're studying, you're taking courses. And then I felt like once I got on, I had hit a wall and I didn't know where to go next or what to do next. And I was starting to feel uh, unproductive, even though there was more I knew I could do. And so it kind of worked out really well coming across you. And it almost was an instant match where I was saying my position of frustration, and you were saying this is what I specialize in, is taking people who know they can give more and giving them an outlet or a different way that they didn't know. Me being a government job and public sector, I didn't really know I could have a business or what my business would even be about. And you just led me down this path that I didn't know was there.
Awesome. I think you do yourself a disservice, Mike. You had a business you had one up and running already, and it was doing all right, and you had a few ideas, but I want people to realize that you were further on down the path than you may let on. But for me, I felt like it was helping you kind of narrow in that focus. Would you agree? It's like, okay, I've kind of got this conception, I kind of got this idea of where I want to go and what I want to do, but I'm not confident on where I can take it and the clarity around that.
I certainly had a lot of ideas. I had a lot of drive, a lot of passion. I loved combining the career of firefighting, which I really enjoy, really do love. I love the values of it. And I love the idea of combining that more into what our business was and was going to be. And I know just from our avatar exercises and deciding who is our best market, who are the people we want to serve. And I know that's where I needed a lot of help and being much more specific, because in a lot of ways I had too many ideas, too many plans. I wanted to help and serve all these people, everybody. And so my service was diluted, whereas now it's a lot more targeted, focused, and specific, and I like that.
So with that in mind, what would you say that was one of the key benefits you got, basically how you're feeling now, your mindset, where you are right now versus where you were then? Would that be your biggest takeaway, your biggest benefit, or are there others? Or
I would say it's right up there, because what's the point in having a service if you don't know who it's going to best serve and who you want to most serve as well. And so I went from maybe all school grades to grade eights specifically, and getting in schools with grade eights, getting in front of them and showing them how to find their purposeful work and education, and going from grade eights to grade nines and focusing my target there. And from everybody again to specifically, I instruct at colleges with the pre-service fire education. And so focusing even on their journey and getting them hired on the fire service. And we focused a lot on that specific journey. And that's been a rewarding process too.
awesome. I work with so many people who are united by the fact they have loads of drive and ambition and they really want to help. But like, you are the personification of that. And like we actually use the analogy I remember early on. It's like a fire hose. You know, you've got all of this power and energy and everything else, but you're holding the wrong end of it. It felt like, and it feels like it's been a case of actually holding the right end now. So it's like focused energy and like learning. Okay, I've got all of this energy and this inspiration. I want to help, but if I don't channel it, then I'm actually doing a disservice to myself and to the potential people I could add value to. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. You know what? It was funny because it was something that was under my nose a lot of the time too, where it was right under my nose, and it made me think of this expression where it's start where you are. with what you have and with what you know. And it was with the people I was working with a lot of the time already, with the students in the college system. Was a great place. I got to practice and build it. And from there, I could expand it into something else larger if I wanted to. But it was starting with something I was already doing. And that was part of the most kind of amazing part for me, is that it was practicing it where I was already was step one, you know.
I'm so glad you said that, because on a few of my other interviews that hasn't cropped up. But one thing I'm really keen on pushing for people is, people don't want to get started in their own business, or they don't want to tweak their own business because the fear of the change, the fear of the upheaval, the fear of having to become somebody they are not, and learn things that they don't know already. And I'm so glad you said that, because my belief is that I'm helping you find who you are rather than create who you are, you know. And it's exactly what you've just said.
Yeah, you know what? It's felt like, instead of just entering into roles, even with the fire service or at the college level, it feels like I'm bringing my business into these roles as well. And that's where I'm practicing it as well, inside of those jobs I do there too.
So would you say that the word I use a lot of the time is alignment? Would you say that you have alignment then, because it's like your focus energy actually is aligned in your day job as it is with your side business, so to speak?
It feels very aligned. I mean, it's called the Inner Fire Academy. So it's using the platform of the fire service, but it feels like when I go to work for the fire service, that I'm still representing myself and in my business. And that feels a bit like integrity. It feels like not only has it helped me in my private endeavors, but it's helped me in all of my endeavors as well, because it is aligned, and I do see that. And so all of it matters to each other, which is an amazing feeling. Like, that's efficiency in a lot of ways, and that's making the most of each thing you do.
Absolutely. Love it. So for those on the fence as to whether they need guidance, as to whether they can raise their level, as to whether alignment is something that they could benefit from, what would you tell those people out there who are watching this?
Gosh, I mean, the same thing I remind myself all the time, the same thing I'm reminded of when I speak to you every time. And I'm also trying to tell the youth and a lot of my students. I feel like that's the first place to start, right? I think everybody should run their life like it is a business, like you're representing yourself and your own services. And so even if you don't have a business, I think it's a good idea. But if you do have one, then it's that much more of a better idea, because you are representing yourself. And to be aligned, your business affects every part of your life, and your life affects your business, and everything needs to be aligned in order to run well.
Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, thank you again for your time. I know you're a busy bloke, so I'll let you get back to it. But yeah, hopefully you inspired or educated a few people out there.
Oh, well, that's my pleasure, and that's always my goal.